Hello everybody. Hey. Just getting set up. Hope everybody's having a nice night. It's time to get back to the towel that I need to do. Put in a little bit more work on these towel. You know, corn's fun, corn's cool. We love corn. But I was really supposed to finish these towel before I got corn demons, so we're gonna get back to work on the towel. For the fans of corn, don't you worry. They're in eye view of me. I can see them. I'm working on them, so they'll be here. Thank you, Ano. Hello. Nice to see you. I'm glad you like the calligraphy. I did this myself. I think it could still be better, but it's getting there. It's good. Yes, Owen, towel. We are back on the towel kick. I think we're gonna just be working more on the green armor today. I gotta sort out all the ones that I've given armor to. From the ones that I haven't. And frankly, maybe before that even, we'll start gluing magnets into their little base holes, because then I can stick them to things that are metal, as opposed to just having them kind of sit wherever. So let's actually do that. I think that would be a good idea. I have a bunch of magnets. Small magnets. We got big ones and we got smaller ones, so we can do this. I've tried to magnetize things before, and let's just say it doesn't always go according to plan. But I think with these ones, I mean, either side of the magnet is gonna stick to the metal, so it doesn't really matter. I'm hoping that sounds correct, but I'm not much of a scientist, so. Are they pretzel guns? No, they're not pretzel guns. Those are guns made out of pie crust, since they're key lime pie themed. Their little pants and their little guns are all pie crust. And then their armor is, of course, the key lime pie filling. Let's hope that my entire bottle of super glue didn't dry out, but I did just absolutely fill that overly much with super glue, but that's fine. That's fine. This is okay. This is honestly about how we expected it to go. I was gonna try and poke it in there with something metal, but that would be dumb. So we just need to, I think I just need to go in with a finger or piece of cardboard or something. Yeah, let's just sloop. Want that to fit neatly in there. It does fit perfectly. It's just I am not a perfect applier of tiny amounts of super glue. So this one is slightly flawed, but in his imperfection, his fellow Tau will find better success, hopefully. Let's squeeze a little bit less into this one. Yeah, it does make much more sense. I do intend to have pretzels feature for sure, but for now, for this current project, these just aren't pretzels. I was gonna paint. I'm still gonna paint. Gluing magnets probably isn't the riveting hobby content that people come to this channel for, but hey, This is a project to see how long it takes to truly finish an army, and magnetizing the bases is one of the things we want to do. So that counts. Hi Chris, how's it going? Ano, yes, you should be asleep as usual. You are never awake at a reasonable hour, and that has not changed. Every time you've been on my stream, you're like, it is 4 a.m., I should be asleep, so please get some sleep, but thank you for saying hello. Always nice to have you. How's it going, Chris? How are you? How are you? What is on your hobby desk, guys? What are you working on tonight? I will tell you, it is satisfying as hell how nicely these magnets fit into these bases. When I magnetized one of my one of my Adeptus Mechanicus, thinking I would do stop motion with it, I tried to like articulate its joints and stuff, and I tried to magnetize them. It was not a smooth process, and I didn't really know how to magnetize things. It was basically hell. I hated it, but it did, and it didn't turn out that good. But I did still do it. That was my first experience with magnetizing things, and I was trying to carve the holes out myself. Having them pre-made into the bases, these magnet wells, that is it's fucking worth it. I can hear one of my cats getting into something that they shouldn't be, and I'm powerless to stop them. Absolutely powerless. It's only 2:30 for you this time, Anna. Well, I mean, I guess I have to technically say that's better than 4, but still, go to bed. Get some sleep. Think about your choices. And staying up this late to watch one person struggle to put a magnet in a hole specifically made the size that it should be able to fit in. Fuck, super glue all over my fingies. That is not fun. Bad texture, do not like. I don't know, maybe this this hole on this particular base for this particular magnet doesn't seem to want to fit. Go in. Sir. I think there's just a little bit of plastic or something right there that's preventing it from going in. Oh dear. That's gonna have to be fixed, but I'll fix it later because I want the super glue to be dry. We'll set him aside, figure that out. Can't watch now playing D&D? That's fine, Josh. Go play D&D. You don't have to check in to tell me that you can't be here because you're playing D&D. That just go enjoy your games, sir. That is completely okay. You're working on a small narrative multiplayer kill team campaign for some friends. Ooh, cool. What's like the plot? What kind of teams are your friends playing? It's like the vibe that you're going for. I don't know all too much about Kill Team, but narrative campaigns are always fun. I like a bit of story. Like, you know, it's nice to know the reason my guys are committing war crimes, as opposed to just regular Warhammer war crimes where it's for no reason. We've made it to 1,000 subscribers. That's pretty crazy. Can't believe that happened. I have been diligently working on designing a Space Marine chapter as per your vote. That's what you guys wanted to see, so that's what I am currently working on. In the background, of course. I can't show it off to you. We're on design number like 3 or 4, I think, but we're gonna get there. Thank you, Max. Hi, Spakiko. Yay, you're back. Finally made a stream. Welcome. What are you guys working on? How's your life been? As you can see, I am performing the oh-so enjoyable to watch task of gluing magnets into bases. We'll get some painting in. Don't you worry about that. It's just haven't had the motivation to put the tiny magnet in the tiny magnet space, and you know, when the iron's hot, as they say. Don't know why this sounded like a good idea to do today, but that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Okay, Chris says they play Vet Guard and AdMech, so it's going to be very alien-inspired. Cool, they got to fight some Nids. Thank you again, Chris, for the 1K. Thank you. I appreciate that. Our next goal is to get 4,000 watch hours so that we can get this channel monetized. That's what we want next. I think is a good goal for us to have. We are at like 1,300 watch hours, which is crazy already. I mean, seriously, you guys are too generous with your time, and I really appreciate it. But yeah, when we hit that, I can officially make a little bit of money off the ads that they run on the channel, which would be cool. I don't expect it's going to be anything major, but you know, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, I think we need like 2,300 more watch hours, which seems doable. I don't know how quickly. Probably not this year. Maybe by next year. But that'll be the next thing that I personally am working towards anyway. Any day you prime orcs is a good day, frankly, in my opinion. Start a new job and training kept you away from hobbying for a while. Oh, that sucks. You got your friend to print you some Narlock Kroot creatures and you're gluing them together. That sounds fun. This magnet is not sitting in its little magnet hole correctly. And I'm very sad. There we go. That just took the magnet out of the magnet hole. That didn't get the magnet in. I think that's another one where the base hole has some plastic protruding, so we gotta wait on that, and I'll figure out a solution to fix it. I just don't have that solution yet. You're currently painting Warcry terrain. You hate painting terrain. It's rather boring, so you're forcing yourself to do it before you paint your orcs. That makes sense. I can't say I'm a big fan of painting terrain either. It is boring. I haven't done much terrain painting, and I'm sure that they're, like, I want to build a big candy city for all of my guys to fight in, so I'm gonna have to paint some terrain. Because for some reason, they don't sell terrain pre-painted to look like candy. They think that's like a DIY project that you gotta do yourself, so that's kinda, it's something I wanna do in future. But I kind of just want it done as opposed to having to paint it. It's going to take so much time. Still, the terrain is really cool to look at, and it makes everything look better, so it is nice to have, admittedly. Congrats on the new job, by the way, Spakiko. That's exciting. Hopefully it's something you want to be doing, or at least like better than your old job. I think that's the goal with job transitions. found that popping the miniature down on the edge of the desk seems to be a great way to get it to actually have the magnet go into the little magnet well. So we'll keep that in mind. Doesn't make the nicest sound in the world, I'll admit, but it is efficient. And I'll go with efficiency. That's fine. Your Warcry terrain, is that the new terrain that just, like, I think they just announced a new Warcry box today, or they started selling a new Warcry box? But I know, like, the old Warcry box had some really cool, like, forge sort of terrain. It looked like some kind of, like, lava mining operation or something. Hi, Rothian Fairmoon. Hello, welcome. That's the catacombs? Okay, cool. Yeah. Aw, thank you. I'm glad you like my painting style. I was really worried when I first got started that people would not like it. Would think it was weird, and I mean, there are definitely people who do think it's weird, but I'm glad that there's also a community of, wow, 1,000 people now who think that the way I paint miniatures is pretty cool. So yeah, that's really neat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. You miss being the local game store guy a bit, but the new job is better. That's good. That's good. Yeah, sometimes it sucks when you have to leave a job that you like, but it just doesn't work with your schedule or the money you need to be making or stuff like that. I worked at a local movie theater only for like a month, and it was a great job. I adored it, but there was no way to make it work. Hours wise, I just couldn't get enough of them, and they really were only looking for part-time people, so it didn't end up working out. Which is too bad. I liked that job. The Catacombs one you wanted because it had more Daughters of Cain stuff. Cool. Daughters of Cain are the snake ladies, right? I've painted Marathi before, the big Marathi, the Shadow Queen, as a commission for a buddy of mine. I will never fucking paint Daughters of Cain model again. That was a task. That was a huge task, and I mean, had fun, did a great job. The person who commissioned it was happy with the end result, but yeah, that was a big model. She took a while. I think there's a few streams of me painting her. Yeah, she was fun. But she's definitely different from, like, the type of model that I like to paint. I know a lot of people really look forward to doing big centerpieces. I mean, I am who I am. I love, like, a medium-sized model, or probably, like, a single figure, just a medium one, are probably some of my favorites to paint. But, I really do like doing batches of infantry. When I know exactly what my next step is and can just kind of bang through a bunch of guys, it's nice. You get, like, a nice lineup at the end of all the work that you did. It's good. And then you got a little squad. Knowing what the next step in a batch paint is quite nice. A lot of people are like, oh man, I gotta slog through my infantry so I can, like, paint my tanks or whatever. I hate painting vehicles. Vehicles are not where it's at for me. But, tiny little guys, yeah. Paint some tiny guys. Almost done with all these magnets. Just a few more to go. Then we can move on to a little bit of painting. Putting some more green on these lads. Provided the magnets still want to go into the bases that need to go into. I'm glad that you have that box. It looks like fun. Kill Team Narrative Campaign sounds fun. Spakiko, are you painting anything? Rothian, are you painting anything? Or building? Or assembling? There's a lot of different aspects. Are you... Oh, shit. Well, this one came off the base. Dang. Butterfingers. We named you. You were special to us. And you think you can just jump off this base whenever you want? Where the fuck's my plastic glue? Oh, no, wait. It has to be super glue, because these are prints. So we're going to put you back on there, you sly little guy. Nice try. Nobody escapes me sticking them onto a base. Oh, hi, Achilles. You see my Tau and you want to kill them. That's very rude. That's very, very rude indeed. Having a bunch of little guys, yeah. You're exactly right, Samuel. What kind of orcs do you have? You said you were priming orcs. Are these 40k orcs? Are these Age of Sigmar orcs? What flavor are we talking here? And, what unit? Or maybe they're like a third party. You did spell them the Warhammer way, though, so I'm assuming that they're Warhammer orcs, but we know what assumptions make. We do. Make a potential that I've mislabeled your orcs. Working on... Right! The Narlocks! That's what you said. I remember. Yeah, because you're also working on Tau, which is great. I love that I'm working on Tau. Somebody else is like, yeah, I also have Tau. So your Tau are also, you know, by proxy, a part of the test kitchen, because we're all just testing out our little guys. Getting them ready for war. I think this is the last one, except for those few that I was having trouble with before, which I might attempt again. Then we'll get some scale 75 paint and paint these guys up. I can't believe Gen Con is next weekend. I will be going, and I'm gonna pick up a bunch of stuff, I'm sure of it. Do I have a budget for Gen Con? Technically, am I going to stick to my budget? That's between me and a higher power that has more control over my spending, which is not me and doesn't exist. So I don't think there's any way that I'm not leaving Gen Con with more stuff than I plan to leave Gen Con with, frankly. I'll keep an eye out for new paint lines, though. I feel like that's always a good thing to pick up. Like, paints that I did not have before seem reasonable. Although it is a board gaming convention, so I'm not exactly sure if they'll... I feel like they will. It's got a bunch of vendors, so people are going to be selling all kinds of stuff. Got some new little outfits to wear that I'm excited about, so that'll be good. Yeah, I think it'll be a fun time. I'll be meeting up to play a game of Relic Blade with Goobertown Brent. I'll take some footage of that. I don't know that we'll be streaming it because it's likely to be like in some convention space with a lot of chaos going on, so that doesn't seem like it would be conducive to a streaming environment, but we will definitely there will definitely be footage of that happening, which is going to be fun. 40k orcs, specifically the ones labeled Orc Boys, and not the ones labeled Boys on the Workshop web store. Just getting started, and they seem manageable. Nice, nice. The Orc Boys were one of the first kits I ever painted up, so I have a fondness for them. 40k orcs are really where I got my start. They're like my first army, and I love the design of them. I think if I went back and painted more 40k orcs with the experience I have now, I'd change a few things, but by and large, I'm very happy with how my orc army looks. They're fun, and I like them. Not sure what color to paint them. Kroot usually end up with khakis and greens, but you like the idea of deep orange? Then paint them orange. We all know my Kroot are unlikely to end up with the box colors of that kind of greenish brownish. Yeah, I guess khaki is the right word for it, but yeah, that's unlikely to happen on my guys, so I can't really see myself advising you to do yours the same way. If you think that orange would look good, you should try orange, and if it doesn't look good, you can always paint over it. It's a nice part about our hobby. Nothing is permanent unless you want it to be. Rothian, you got your Chaos Marine action figure, and it felt good to finally paint something. I think we saw, is that the one that was posted in the Discord server? Because I know I saw someone posted one of those big, like, McFarlane action figures that they'd painted, and it was all, like, black and red. Pretty sure it was a Chaos Marine. Think that might have been you. If it was you, it looked great. Yeah, it was you. Awesome. I thought that was you. Yeah, he looked really cool. I like him. I like that they include, I don't know if you sculpted it yourself or it was just part of the kit, but his little, like, tabard that's all tattered looked pretty cool. I think it was like a greenish gray color. And I like that you said you had used a color scheme that was like one that you had for painting Chaos Space Marines since like childhood or something like that. That's cool. Or that they were just an army color scheme that you would come up with for a while. I'm realizing, when attempting to design a chapter of Space Marines, that coming up with a color scheme for them, I'm going to make a color scheme that is so stupid complicated to paint and prohibitive to ever actually finishing an army that no one is going to look at it and be like, you know what? I think Fiverr's chapter of Space Marines is the exact chapter that I want to be. Like, no one is going to be saying that. No one. Orcs are fun to paint because you can be messy and it doesn't matter. Yep, I agree. I found that, like, orcs are a really good army to start with because you can kind of mess up and it just kind of works. But I think if people are asking, like, what is the actual best starter army, I feel like you could say Khorne Demons because you can play those in anything. If you're like, I can only afford to buy one army, but I want to play as many games as possible and I want them to be easy to paint, corn demons aren't hard to paint. And they're usable in pretty much every game that Games Workshop makes. You can run a mono demon army. Is a mono demon army good? Maybe not. I don't know. But it's playable. You can play it. You can play it for sure. And sometimes that's just what's important. You got a 3D printer so you can make any army you want? Oh, that's awesome. That's great. There's so many times when a 3D printer would come in handy for me, like when there's a bit that I feel like would work, or if I'm like, man, I really wish I had some rubble to add to this, or even just, hey, I want tiny food to put on these bases. I need a tiny lollipop for this guy to hold. Yeah, stuff like a 3D printer would be a godsend for things like that. But I really don't think I have the desire to clean up after a 3D printer. I mean, I have space for one, but I don't think I'm the right kind of I don't love troubleshooting things when they go wrong. All of that's just kind of not for me, so I'm not sure that a 3D printer and I would be a good match. Maybe. Could be worth trying, but so far, haven't really messed with one all too much. My local game store has a 3D printer, but they don't use it for anything. It just kind of sits there, which is sad. I feel like they should get someone trained on how to use it, and then they could 3D print people's like D&D characters and stuff like that. Would be a good thing. I suppose running a really loud 3D printer that potentially has some dangerous fumes in the middle of a busy store isn't necessarily the best way to go about things, but you know, they do have it. Oh, this guy's got he's got a little gadget. He's got a little gadget that he can read. Oh, I should really compare this with my other guys. Let's see. The gloves are also supposed to be green, so I need to go in and add that. We'll make his little gadget green too, because we can change that color later if we want to, but green is fine for now. Well, hello there. Hi, Atomic Topher. How are you doing? Yeah, he does have a little go-go gadget. It's probably like a data scanner or a holo pad, or I don't know what the Tau call their technology. There's a lot of like elements like air and fire and water and stuff, so maybe it's a air pad. I don't know. That was dumb. I could look it up in the Tau Codex and it would probably tell me. But I can't remember all the fake Games Workshop words for things. I'm pretty sure at one point they called something rockcrete, like a variation of concrete, and I realized that I don't know if that's actually a thing or if that is a thing that Games Workshop made up for their fake stories. Which is fine. I know that there's a lot of dumb Star Wars words for things, so sometimes everybody's just, you know, they're making up dumb words. Yeah, beepy thingy works too. That is a perfectly reasonable term for his little scanner. His beepy thingy. It goes ding when there's stuff. Andy, that's an interesting one. Stupidest name ever. It owns. Yeah, sometimes when you're reading fantasy books and they say something and you just have to, like, laugh at it because they clearly needed a fake word for something that has an analog in the real world, it can be funny. I'm not reading anything too interesting right now. No matter how many times I talk about my extremely, I used to call it obscure Chinese anime, but it's actually really popular. It's just not popular in America. It's popular in China. You know. But I'm reading the novelization of that the author wrote of one of the other stories that they have that's been translated into English, and it doesn't have any, like, super made up words, but sometimes they have to explain a translation, and it's like, this is a reference to a historical Chinese poem in which these things happen, and it's funny because of this. Or it's like, this is a Chinese internet meme. So, you know, stuff like that is always funny to come across with translated works. Tomic, you are trawling eBay for some deals. For any used minis worth bidding on. I hope you find something good. I'm not really well versed in the secondhand miniatures market, so I couldn't advise you about what would be a good purchase. I can, however, tell you that I am now able to put the finished Tau that I paint magnetized to the metal arm that holds my camera, and it is bringing me a hell of a lot of joy to do that. This is Butterfingers. This is our boy. He looks like he doesn't know how to load his little gun, so we named him Butterfingers. And he's dumb, but he's trying his best. This is who I would be if I were a Tau. I also don't know how to load a gun. I like him especially because I think he was one of the ones I got in the big salvage lot as opposed to one of the ones that I built myself. So, someone else built him to look confused, and that just makes me happy. Are there any specific armies you're looking for used models from, or anything like that, or is it just, you know, any old Games Workshop or affiliated company that strikes your fancy? Let me know if you see any good deals on Imperial Knight Titans. I don't need one, but I kind of want one. You have the Art of War, the Art of War again with commentary. Yeah, that's fair. Sometimes there's a lot of commentary. But you know, translators' notes are valid, and a lot of what they're trying to explain is extremely, like, specialized, so I can't blame them for having to comment on stuff every, like, third sentence. America sure has its fair share of idioms and sayings and things that wouldn't make sense to non-English speaking Americans. Although a lot of our culture is in movies and stuff, I guess, so people get tons of it by proxy. You're still on the corn demon kick. Ah, nice. We love corn demons. We love to see it. Your new big idea is camo, but fiery red, yellow, and orange. Okay, cool. I like that. Makes sense for corn demons. I'm going to be putting out a video when I finish painting my corn demons with a couple color scheme ideas, but specifically ones that are not red, because there's a ton of red corn demons out there. And I felt like maybe doing something to stand out would be good. Easton, that does sound like a pretty sucky book, not gonna lie. Orc Dork, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I don't know if anybody remembers, but Orc Dork has purchased something for the channel through a very kind donation. When I was talking about making a spaghetti-themed army, I was like, yeah, but I don't want to have to sculpt, like, a million strands of spaghetti out of green stuff. I'd need, like, a Play-Doh Fun Factory or something. Or someone suggested a Play-Doh Fun Factory to make them, and I was like, I'm not going to buy a Play-Doh Fun Factory just for Warhammer. And Orc Dork was like, bet, I'll send you a Play-Doh Fun Factory. And I have actually right here, right next to me, on the desk, the thing that we talked about. Ugh. We got us the Play-Doh Fun Factory. We got it. It's right here. Can you see that? That is a Play-Doh Fun Factory. Real fun and creative play since 1956. You can also see some authentic holes that Achilles gnawed into it because he cannot leave any piece of anything in this house untouched. But yeah, you can see inside. It's got the factory itself and Play-Doh and the things. So we're gonna see if we can make some green stuff spaghetti or some Milliput spaghetti or something spaghetti to make a spaghetti themed army. It's not spaghetti time now though. I'm sorry, that's too good of a video idea to not use. Like, it's too good. It's honestly, it's great. I'm very happy to have this. It does come with Play-Doh, so of course, I'm gonna have to mess around with that just a little bit. But yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Achilles clearly appreciates it. But that'll be coming at you at some point. I don't know when exactly, because probably not till after this Space Marine video that I gotta make to celebrate 1,000 subscribers, which I'm very happy about. I just, I have to go to Gen Con to get the Space Marine to make the video. I gotta get it, so yeah. I don't currently have a Space Marine, otherwise I'd probably be working on that a little bit. The designs, however, like, I wish I could show you, but I feel like keeping it a secret is the best way to do it. I do need a very good name for this Space Marine chapter, and a chapter symbol as well. But we're narrowing in on the design at least. The colors, the look, the details. All of this I'm saying in very vague terms, which makes it sound like I haven't figured it out. I have. I'm just, not at liberty to say at this time. But I hope you guys will enjoy it when it is eventually revealed. It should be fun. But anyway, yeah, Orc Dork, thank you so much for your support and your sponsorship of a Play-Doh Fun Factory. so that I can try and do a really dumb idea. Do you want to know? Do you want to know which faction and which model in particular we're gonna be spaghettifying? Spaghettiing? Spaghetti. I don't know how to make that into a verb. That's not a verb. Adjective? Spaghetti? I don't know. This feels like a verb. An ing word. Yeah. Are the Space Marines candy themed? You gotta wait. I can't tell you, Atomic. I can't. Max, it's not Nurgle. I can tell you straight up, it will not be Nurgle. It will never be Nurgle. I gave my viewers one chance to give me to paint a Nurgle model with the 1K. I was like, vote for what you want, and thank goodness Space Marine won out over Nurgle. I would have painted Nurgle if it got the most votes. I would have bitched about it the whole time. But Nurgle did not win the popular vote, therefore I do not have to paint Nurgle. We have picked up the model to spaghettify. This is our kid, our lad. I don't know how it identifies. This parasite of Mortrex. It's a Tyrannid model. The first Tyrannid model that I have ever purchased. But I figured, you know, it's got loopy things that kind of, you can drape spaghetti across the wings. Yeah. Nurgle stuffed into Space Marine armor. No, there will be no Nurgle. Yeah, Parasite is perfect for worm-shaped noodles. I figured it was a strong choice. I like the pose as well. It seems pretty fun. Lots of places for spaghetti to go. Basically, I'm gonna have to build this and put the spaghetti on it and then prime it and then paint off the spaghetti. And the model, obviously, but yeah, it could turn out great. It could turn out terrible. I don't really know. Spakiko says, good model, except the left arm is irritating to glue. Don't forewarn me that assembly is going to be terrible. I already assume that assembly is going to be terrible. The knowledge that I am correct and that the assembly will be bad, that is further intimidation. Makes it more difficult to approach a project because I'm like, it's gonna suck. I'm not very good at assembly. I'm not very good at kit bashing, but I mean, it's a Play-Doh fun factory with Warhammer models. I can't not do that. It's too much fun. It's too much fun. And I'm not gonna deny myself fun in this day and age. Especially not when other people have been so kind as to sponsor that fun. I think probably when I'm done with the kit bash, the modifications, I guess it depends on how good the Play-Doh Fun Factory performs, but if it's like, this is kind of a flop, I'll end up donating it to a Goodwill or a children's something or other, or something like that. It can be put to use by its intended age group, as opposed to me. So, yeah, regardless of how the experiment goes, this Play-Doh Fun Factory will end up in the hands of someone who will use and enjoy it. So, have no fear of that. Have no fear of that. Is the Fun Factory itself big enough to be used as terrain? Yes. I believe that it is. It's not quite like to scale of what a factory would be, but it's like the size of a small house. So you could definitely use it as Warhammer terrain. Your least favorite Chaos faction is Nurgle. Correct. Followed by Khorne. Incorrect. But I'm okay with having Khorne stuff in your Chaos collection. That's fair. You were right to say that Nurgle was your least favorite. Khorne is my second favorite, so I'm sad to hear that Khorne is only your third favorite, but, you know, that's okay. As long as you don't mind me painting some Khorne demons on occasion, we can all get along. If it's too tough, you can always put some extra yellow in for the green stuff, or mix in some milliput to soften it. Yep. There's plenty of possibilities. I'm excited to try them out. I don't know how it's gonna go. I really hope it goes well, though, because it would be really fun if it did, and it's gonna be kind of a little bit of a disappointing video if it doesn't, because that's like, yeah, you should not be adding a Play-Doh fun factory to your hobby setup. I would not recommend doing this. But if I can enthusiastically say that you should consider investing in a Play-Doh fun factory if you're going to be looking to add tentacles and stuff like that to your army, I mean, that's a fun discovery that we'll get to make together. But I'm honestly looking forward to figuring out. So yeah. It'll be a video coming soon, and I can't wait. I mean, I have to wait because I need to do other stuff first, but it's coming, I promise. Promise. It's nice to have too many project ideas as opposed to being like, I have no idea what I want to do next. I'd much rather have too many ideas than be at a loss for where to go. So, if you have suggestions, you keep them coming. I'm happy to take a look over them. All of these guys are gonna need a second coat, but your first coat is done. You plan on getting every Warhammer Underworlds warband, even the Nurgle ones. So, oh well, that's a choice. Sure, that's a choice. Dark Matter Crafts. Is that an orc with an instrument? No, it is a Tau. It's a little Tau. My Tau are key lime pie inspired, so they're being painted this lovely toxic waste color by scale 75. I'll zoom in a little bit so that you can potentially see better. But yeah, not an orc with a, like, guitar or anything. This is a Tau. This one's a Fire Warrior. I also have some Pathfinders in here. Sadly, not an orc. Yeah. The problem with the camera is that if I zoom in, like, it doesn't really have a zoom feature in and of itself through Droid Cam, so I will keep hitting it with my paintbrush if I have the camera down too close, which doesn't make for the best painting experience, if I'm honest. On my, like, YouTube videos, typically I'll just paint and, like, I'll be looking at the model from a really strange angle or holding my brush in a strange way, just to get a shot of me painting, and then I turn off the camera and I hold the model, like, I kind of lean back in my chair and hold the model, which is not, it's not the best way to shoot for YouTube, so most of the painting that I do on stream is in like a slightly strange position. That's okay. It's why a lot of the time the detail work is not something that's in focus, and sometimes it's not even on camera. Malal is your favorite Chaos faction, followed by Slanesh? I'm not familiar at all with Malal. Is that a different way of saying Tzeentch? Because that's the other chaos god that I'm aware of, so. There's a fucking new Chaos god that just dropped. I don't know anything about that one. I'm gonna scoot the camera up a bit. Sorry again, it's just gotta kind of be comfortable to paint these guys. This stream probably won't last super long, unfortunately, because my back's giving me a bit of an issue today, which happens every now and again. But surprisingly, leaning over tiny miniatures to paint them doesn't always help with that. Malal is Chaos Undivided. Okay, cool. You're tempted to buy a Noise Marine? Noise Marines are fun. Great to be part of a hobby where we can fuse an orc with a guitar and an alien with a pie crust gun. Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. I think that that is a fantastic mark that you are in the correct hobby. I actually have some pie in the fridge, which I'm very excited about. It's coconut cream pie and not key lime pie, so not quite in line with my faction. I feel like when I do finish this army, if I don't also have a pie to celebrate, I've done a disservice to the Warhammer community and frankly myself. So I'll have to bake one. Does coconut cream have a distinct color scheme? Not really. It's white. Chris asking me what's the best pie. It's key lime. It's my favorite flavor of pie and also one of my favorite desserts, hands down. So it is key lime. That is the best pie. It's also, coincidentally, a great color scheme for a Tau army. So, I can only highly recommend it, but so much. Key lime pie is delicious. It's refreshing. It's a perfect summer pie. Also winter pie if you miss the summer. Also, really any time. Just have some key lime pie, and you'll have problems, sure, but at least you'll be thinking about pie for like 3 minutes. Pizza is the best pie. That's fair. Pumpkin is the best pie when you make it. Orc Dork, I have never once had a pumpkin pie that I have liked. I don't like pumpkin as a flavor. I hope there's a pumpkin pie good enough out there to convert me, though. I give it a go every few Thanksgiving holidays, and I'm like, maybe my tastes will have changed. Maybe I like pumpkin pie. I still don't like pumpkin pie yet. Derby pie is good, too. I don't know what derby pie is. I've never heard of that before. It's also a great color to make you think it's an orc. That's just good camouflage. Listen, okay. So here's like what the finished, this is the finished color scheme. So you can see here that we've got the green, the key lime pie green armor. We've got the graham cracker crust on some of the metal parts. And then we've got a little dollop of whipped cream on his head. He's on like a cookies and cream kind of base with a lime base rim, and we've got yellow glow effects. There's also like little tiny limes that are kind of painted well and kind of painted like shit on his little circles. This was the test model, so he's got quite a few layers of paint on him, but he turned out pretty good, and I'm happy with Commander Bojangles. But yeah, this is what they're gonna look like. So hopefully that doesn't look too much like an orc to you. You're an apple pie man. That's valid. It's valid. Classic. I mean, who doesn't love cinnamon and apples? It's a great combination that has truly stood the test of time. Do love a good mince pie. Mince pie is fantastic. I only had my first mince pie last year, and I wanted to eat so many of them. I would eat so many of them. I plan on, when they sell mincemeat again in stores, because it's not very common here in America, I'm gonna buy a jar, and I'm gonna make so many mince pies. I'm very excited for it. Derby pie is chocolate and typically walnut pie. Aw, Orc Dork, that's so nice. I appreciate that. Maybe next year. I don't know if I'll be going to as many cons next year, because I plan on traveling internationally to visit some friends, which is probably going to knock out a considerable portion of my budget. Like, I want to go to Adepticon next year, but it's also kind of like, well, we'll see. We'll see. Gotta go with a fruit pie. Blackberry or gooseberry? That's fair, Chris. I like a good blueberry or peach or cherry pie. I do like blackberry. I've never had gooseberry pie before. I do know that's what Snow White is baking for the Seven Dwarves when the evil queen in disguise comes up and is like, oh, you should be baking apple pie. I could quote that word for word. I've seen Snow White enough times. But I think I'm gonna save you that impression for now. I think it's safer for all of our ears if I don't torment you with that. You're a fiend for pecan pie? Okay. Is it pecan that you say it or pecan? I usually say pecan, but there's a lot of people who don't say it like that. It is a good pie, though. It is a good pie. There's like a weird type of pie. I don't really know how to describe what it's made out of. I think it's like a treacle sort of thing or molasses. It's called shoe fly pie. Which I think it's like a kind of Pennsylvania Dutch sort of thing, and I could be wrong there. I just know that that's kind of where my family used to get it from. I don't think it's like a superlative pie. Like, it's never the one that I'd choose if I saw it on a menu. But I do like the name of it. To the point where one of the characters I had for a one-shot campaign in D&D was a turtle named Shoefly. I thought that was very cute. So it was Shoefly and then Pie was the last name. I'm nothing if not on brand, you know? You switch it up. Okay. Pecan. We've got alternate. You live in Oklahoma, though. Yeah, I feel like pecan is probably the more Oklahoma way to say it. Can't vouch. Have never lived in Oklahoma, but pecan gives me more Oklahoma vibes than pecan. Suppose it doesn't really matter, as long as people know what you're talking about. Pecan seems to be more a northernism, is it? Okay, could be wrong. I like that, you know, there are some Warhammer communities that are going to start discourse about which kind of space marine is the best, or stuff like that, or which company is stealing your money the most for miniatures, things of that nature. But we're over here like, yeah, this pie is better than other pies. It's the right kind of discourse for us to be having. This is the community that I strive to create. Speaking of community, I don't think I've not shilled on this stream, but we do have a Discord server. If it's free, people didn't seem to know that it was free. They thought it was like you have to be a patron to get access to the Discord. You don't. It's free. You can join it if you want to. You don't have to. We just, you know, it's fun. If you feel like being there, I'm gonna post a link to it. I'm gonna try to post a link to it. I think I might have fingers slightly crusted with super glue. There we go. So if you want to join us on Discord, you can, and we'd love to have you. It's a good time. It's incredibly active, to the point where I'm so impressed with it. I used to be able to keep up with every single message as it happened, but now sometimes I'll like go to dinner, or I'll just be painting miniatures, or I'll go for a walk or something, and I'll come back to like 20 or 30 messages, and I'm like, oh no! I missed content. But, yeah, it's growing. It's a big community now. Look at you guys. I mean, obviously, I couldn't have grown without people who were willing to spend a little bit of time helping to make a nice little community. It means a lot to me. I'm glad you're all there. We did such a nice thing, and I can't believe we got to 1,000 subscribers with just me making weird videos about my dumb color scheme ideas. Like, what? It's so weird. I'm very happy, though. Oh, yes, please do. I'd love to take a look at that. I'll look at that after I am done streaming, which shouldn't be. Probably not go for too much longer. Just gotta, with the day job also being on a computer, gotta keep up with this stupid back issue of mine. Sometimes that's just how it be. I'll eventually upgrade to a comfier hobbying chair as well, which should help. Because this is just I either wheel over my my chair that I sit in for work, or I'm just at a kitchen chair, which is fine. Works for now. We'll upgrade this system and the setup as we go. No big rushes. Everything's fine. The one complaint I have about this scale 75 paints is the coverage is not great, which means I have to do 2 coats on all of these models, which does take time. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear about that, Easton. That doesn't sound like fun. Yeah, I'll probably get a good chair. I can't see myself getting better posture anytime soon, so better chair is probably a good way to go. Although now I am trying to sit up straight and paint. It is not great for being able to see all the details. Probably a good reminder to stretch, though. Achilles is watching me from the couch. He's just peeking out. Can see him. He wants to destroy. He has that murderous glint to his eye today. He wants to get up to something. He wants to get up to something. Once the channel gets monetized, I'll be sure to give you guys another poll for what you want to see. So, if there are some of you out there who truly want me to paint Nurgle, I'll give you another chance in the future. Not anytime soon, though. You'll have to bide your time. Wait to seize your moment. And then also, please don't, because Nurgle is so scary. He's so spooky. This is got super watery now. I think probably water from my brush transferred over, and just kind of looks like green goo, which is not a great consistency to be painting with. Maybe I didn't shake up the bottle of paint enough. That's possible as well. It's such a nice color, but I just wish it covered better than it does. It's worth it though. It's the perfect key lime color. Keep thinking maybe I can mix like a little bit of like a sand color or a tan color in there to try and thicken it up a bit, but it would change the shade, and this is the one that I want. So I gotta suffer for it. Several thin coats, just like the professionals do. Orc dork. Time to make 40 burners to all vote for Nurgle. Yeah, how about no? Is it just gonna be Orc Dork 1, Orc Dork 2, Orc Dork 3? Is that how I'll know? Put up the poll, and then it's like, oh, they're all jostling back and forth, and oh no, somehow Nurgle got 30 additional votes. All at once, from out of nowhere. I mean, I won't say anything, but we'll both know. We'll know that you cheated, Orc Dork. Just because you bought me a Play-Doh Fun Factory doesn't mean you can buy my loyalty to your corrupt cause, spreading Nurgle everywhere. Why did I not magnetize miniatures before? This is lit. This is great. Everybody should do this. Orc dork, orc nerd, orc weirdo, orc dingus. Orc dork is lobbying me? Yeah. Goblin geek, greenskin, grognard. These are all great. These are fantastic usernames. People should steal these, honestly. I said maybe I should shake up this paint more. Did not shake up the paint before squeezing more of it out. Yep, that's me, guys. Listen to what I say, not what I do. Also, don't always listen to what I say. I'm full of bad advice. Nurgle nerd. Yeah, I'm sure that one's already taken. That's got good alliteration, though. Haldo, Goober. Haldo. How goes it? What you working on? How has your day been? Got anything on the old hobby desk for us tonight? Yeah, Soda, I think I remember people saying that as well. That that strikes some memory back in the recesses of my brain. I wasn't in orchestra, but I definitely had friends who were. Oh, I only want to watch it. Thank you so much. Lurkers are completely okay. Happy to have you there. Lurking, watching, observing, ceaselessly watching from the shadows. You know, somebody's got to do it. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It was a big deal to hit, honestly. You got the last of the dungeons and lasers you need to make a board, so you're going to assemble and clean the last tiles. Excellent. You've been working on that for ages. I'm sure it's going to turn out great. So I'm happy you have the last pieces that you need. I'm excited to one day have a board. And I am going to be on a podcast that my friend Destro the Lich King and Jeremy Ghostbear from our Discord do. And while on that podcast, I go on a very impassioned rant about Candyland, the board game. And no spoilers for all of the cursed things that we talked about, because I want you all to go listen to the episode of the podcast when it airs. I'll post about it on the community tab in YouTube and on my Discord and all that other kind of stuff. But it did make me think about like a Candyland war game board and what that would look like. So, yeah. I can't talk about Candyland too much, because then I'll go on the same rant, and it won't be fresh content when you could be listening to the freaking premiere podcast from Destro and Jeremy. It's called Grognard's Yell at Cloud. It's available on Spotify. The episode with me is not out yet, but their other episodes are pretty good. They're fun. Is it a rant about how Candyland isn't actually a game? And is it just a random sadness simulator? No, it is not. It is not that. You always joked about the idea of Willy Wonka the Warlock for a candy-themed character. I know this will also not surprise anyone, but I do play a character in D&D who's like Guillermo del Toro inspired tiefling, so he kind of has like if you know the evil angel looking character from Hellboy 2, that sort of weird crest with no eyes on the face, that's kind of the vibes that my tiefling has for their face. But they're an artificer who makes all of their inventions out of candy and chocolate. Kind of like that guy on TikTok who's always sculpting those ridiculous things out of candy. Yeah, that's my tiefling artificer. Their name is Amaretto Abattoir, and they're one of my favorite things that I've ever created. They're so good. Yeah, Candyland does play the same regardless of how many people are playing. That is true. There's no strategy to Candyland. It's all luck. But it was less about the mechanics of Candyland. But I can't tell. You gotta just wait like a week for the podcast to come out, okay? It's not going to take that long. And then you'll listen to it and be like, oh, LOL, that was kind of funny. And that's it. That's the only reaction you'll have. But still. I was asked on that podcast the most cursed question that I have ever been asked by any human being. I will not repeat the question. That again is something you will have to tune in and see for yourselves. But I was asked it by Jeremy Ghost Bear, and I never want to be asked that question again. It was not like overly personal or anything like that. It just happened to be on the topic that we were discussing, and it sounded like something that somebody would have said in our Discord just to mess with me, except this was on record, and I was laughing so hard. It was crazy. It was a good time. I think their name is the Angel of Death. Yeah, that was Doug Jones double dipping. Of course it was Doug Jones. Who else moves their fingers like that? Like, you might not be able to recognize Doug Jones by his face because, you know, it's usually in makeup. But nobody does that little finger thing. It's very signature, his way of moving, where he'll like fold all his fingers down. And it's perfect. It's always creepy. It's aesthetic. It's wonderful. It looks so good in the long, weird monster fingers that they put on him. You can always tell it's Doug Jones, not by the face, but by the hands. 100% of the time. I'm a big Doug Jones fan, in case that wasn't readily apparent. Hellboy 2 is my favorite superhero movie of all time because it's mostly about Abe Sapien, and all superhero films could stand to be a little bit more about Abe Sapien than they currently are. Like, I haven't even seen the new Hellboy film with the guy from Stranger Things as Hellboy because apparently Abe Sapien is not in it. And I don't think there's a point to me watching that film if I'm just going to be sitting there waiting the whole time for Abe to show up. And he doesn't. Yeah, the way he rolls his wrists and unfurls his fingers is very distinct. Absolutely. And Del Toro talks about that. Not that specifically, but that, like, there's a specific type of character that he only ever wants Doug to play. And it's never like brute strength kind of characters. He's like, I would never cast Doug for that because that's just not how he moves. And it's great. It's wonderful to hear two artists who respect each other so much talking about their strong points, why they like working with each other. Did you know that Doug Jones was a mime before he was an actor? Like, that just makes sense. When you learn that, I'm like, yep. That tracks, my boy. That makes sense, Doug. That makes sense. I'd love to meet him sometime and just be like, you have been some of my favorite monsters. Very inspiring sort. I like that the average person won't recognize you, but you've done some of the best work in the film industry. I think that's pretty cash money of you. And the only thing he ever complained about is he doesn't like having his voice dubbed over. I think that's why he didn't like being the Silver Surfer as much as he's liked some of the other roles that he's gotten. I really hope that practical effects don't die out completely to CGI because people like Doug Jones deserve to be respected for the incredible work that they do and continue to do incredible work because I like practical effects and I would like to see more of them used. New Del Toro movie, but with Doug Jones playing all the parts? Yeah, I'm down. I mean, I'd watch it. Del Toro might not ever cast Doug to be Hellboy, but, like, I'd fucking watch that. I'd pay a subscription fee to watch that, hell. It would be cool. I'd be down for it. Really want to see if I can figure out why the magnets weren't going in there. Let's see if I can find my little plate one. I would love a 200 episode long animated series, well, maybe animated series, animated or live action series, where Guillermo del Toro gets to produce the Magnus Archives podcast, but as a television show. I think that would be fantastic. I know it's not going to happen because that's just unrealistic. And frankly, I think the Magnus Archives works great as a podcast, and I don't think that it would be as strong as a television program as opposed to a podcast, but yeah, it's something I'd like to see. We breaking feet today? No feet have been broken. Just trying to get some magnets to go into the bases. But for whatever reason, this base doesn't want to take the magnet. I don't quite know why. There we almost went. Yeah, it's just not sitting flush in there. Not sure what's preventing that. So, we might have to pop him off, actually. Just glue him on another base that can take a magnet, because this one doesn't seem to want to. I was hoping I could fix that, but it doesn't appear that I can. Gonna see if I can fix any of these other ones. I'm not sure what's up with them. That would be too powerful? Yeah, it really would, wouldn't it? I think that there's, you know, an alternate universe that gets that, but, like, they've missed out on some major things, so they deserve something stellar. They deserve something stellar. I don't know, for surviving all this pandemic shit, I think I deserve some, like, really powerful television programming, particularly in the horror genre. I guess maybe Jordan Peele could direct it. I don't think it would be right for Jordan Peele to, like, he's a great director, but I think, I like seeing him make original material, and I don't know that I'd want him to interpret somebody else's, because I'm more interested in just what is in Jordan Peele's head is interesting enough that I don't feel the need to see adaptations of stuff from him. I mean, I'm not opposed if he's like, yeah, I'm gonna adapt something, like, I'll sign me up. I'm there, but really, I hope his production company just keeps letting him make weird little horror films, because they're fun. I've seen Nope. I won't say anything about it, because it came out fairly recently. I'm sure you all want to avoid spoilers, but I do recommend it. I think if you have the means and are curious, it's a good excuse to go to your local theater and see a film. It's a good one. I liked it. I cannot for the life of me to get magnets in some of these bases, so I will mess with that another day. I think I will also mess with more painting another day, because my back's starting to hurt too bad. to keep going tonight. So it was a shorter stream, which, you know, whatever. I don't have any stream schedule, so it's not like I can get off schedule, really. I'm only ever just on the schedule that I've already established. So that's fun, you know. I hope that wherever you are, you've had a nice night, and I will go ahead and see you in the next one. If you are looking for more of this content, feel free to like, subscribe, join us on Discord, support me on Patreon, or whatever other shit YouTubers are supposed to say when they close out their streams. Everybody go to bed and have a good rest of your night.